we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. To be bold, to be brave. It is the thinking that the heart can still be saved. And the darkness can come quick. The danger's in the anger and the hanging on to it. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. Tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibility. And heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are how we treat each other.
Nothing more and nothing less. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Bellingham. Let's start our service by standing and singing two songs. They're in your bulletin, I Trust in God, and I Love Myself the Way I Am. Let's sing our next song, I Love Myself the Way I Am.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I feel it. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your tears, your rage and tears, I see your your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. 'Cause change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
Beautiful.
Let's just hold that joy for a moment longer. In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us, the creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine, expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion Mother Earth and all sentient beings, this universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in this present moment. It is the truth. Let us own it. Welcome, everybody. Hi, isn't it beautiful? It's cooler outside, which is a nice thing. So that's wonderful. Good to see everybody here, and good to see everybody online as well. Thank you. My name's Sherry Humes, and I'm your service assistant this morning. We are a joyful, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose. That is our mission. So let us own it. Our music ministry today is our dear Kate and Marcia. We thank you very much. And our special guest musician is our beloved brother, J P Falcon Grady. Thank you. Let's take a couple of minutes to say hi to one another, and would you also please wave to those online, because they're part of us this morning too. So let's greet each other. Hi, friend. Good morning. Oh. All right. Well, that was kind of organized and quiet. I didn't have to like ding a bell or anything to get your attention. Yeah. So wonderful. Okay. So let's do our 5 principles together. So as you settle back in your seat, take a breath. Maybe take 2 breaths. Feel the spirit of love move through you as we take a moment together. Together, please. God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day, and so it is. As we prepare for time of reflection and meditation, please hold the words of this meditation hymn quietly in your heart.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace.
Let us join in prayer as we gather in unity as one mind in the presence of the one mind and power of us all. Wherever more than 2 are gathered, a momentum is created. We trust in God, in the source divine, that if we're alone, our hope and prayers activate divine intelligence with pure, simple faith. It is manifested and healing begins, and the ease and flow that we desire is on its way. That finances flow, and that peace among people and nations is visible. Peace be still. Peace be still. And know this authentic truth. If you would like to hold someone in prayer, feel free to say their name aloud and hold them close to your heart. Know that our prayers are heard, that again, we are more than 2 gathered, and there is momentum, and solutions are created. And so it is. Now I invite you into a time of meditation and a time to release and relax. As you settle yourself, take a slow, deep breath in. Repeat this a few times. As you breathe, you feel your body soften, your mind quiet. You feel that grounding within yourself. Life is an ebb and flow of moments, each holding infinite possibilities. Life is an ebb and flow, a journey undefined until we make a choice. The ebb is as important as the flow. As we ebb, this provides time for pause, to question and consider, to gain clarity about what is most important. To relax into the ebb is to open to possibilities. Finding yourself in a time of ebb or slowing down, it may feel unsettling, it may feel refreshing. Know this passivity is a powerful time to recalibrate. Relaxing into this pause will help you recognize your feelings and create new choices. Breathe in. Where in your life would you like to pause and gain clarity, find balance? If anything is possible, what do you choose? The feeling of being in the flow of life is expansive, fun, creative. Breathe in. If you feel life is frisky and in the flow, go with the flow. Anything is possible. Here in this moment, with heart receptive and inner eye open, calibrate to the flow of Source Divine and infinite creativity. Being creative is being open to change. Change begins with a prompt, an idea, and then following the flow of inspiration. We are here to live life and experience fully. Breathe in. Knowing where you are is living in the now. In this present moment, in the now, is where all creativity exists. Whether you're in an ebb or in the flow of life, know that Source Divine is with you, is your constant companion in the creation of life on this beautiful planet. Breathe in. Feel the love that you are. Hold that in your heart, and so it is. Amen.
Morning. A little song I wrote here called Ebb and Flow. Another day comes shining down for you and me. From Homo Koshan down to the Sailor's Sea. Come and look at the islands, we've got an orchid view. So much to feel here, so much to do. We got the ebb and flow. Let it flow my way. They come and they go slowly, never out, fade away. You wanna live life freely, let it be. Some took to the highlands and dry lands, others the sea, some to the valleys, then there's you and me. Oh, we love that shoreline and a life living here. We got the midnight song on the midnight air. We got the ebb and flow. Let it flow my way. Ooh, they come and they go slowly. Never I'll fade away. You wanna live life freely. Let it be. Oh, let it be. We got the ebb and flow. Let it flow my way. Ooh, they come and they go slowly. Never I'll fade away. And you wanna live life freely. Let it be.
It's funny, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have understood those lyrics. What's Colshan? What are these places? I'm not sure I even would have understood this whole ebb and flow thing as much, but there it is, right? We learn, we grow. Ebb and flow. This is the Tao, Tao Te Ching, verse number 42. I'd like to share with you and maybe teach you as well. The Tao became one. The one became two, and the two became three. The three became 10,000 things. The 10,000 things we carry as the yin, and then we embrace as the yang, and they achieve a harmony of these two energies. Now, an ordinary person hates the silence, but the master makes great use of it. And here's a thing that the wise ones have said through the ages: living with violence creates a violent life. There it is. Ebbs and flows, yings and yangs. One thing's become the many, and the many comes back to the one. So it's interesting in this, now the Tao, it's ancient, probably written down about 400 or 500 BCE, about the time of Buddhism, that same range, ancient stuff, ancient wisdom. There is a mystic, a Christian mystic I really like. His name's Meister Eckhart. People heard that name? Yeah, a lot, Meister Eckhart. One of my faves. He said, we talk about God, but what I want to talk to you about also is this thing he called the Godhead. So the thing about the Godhead is I can't talk about it, because as soon as I try to tell you what the Godhead is, I can't say, which seems very similar to what the understanding of the Tao was. Well, what's the Tao? Explain it. As soon as I've tried to explain it, I can't, because in the explanation of it, I've now muddled it, and I can't say, but rather it's this sensed reality of the wholeness and the fullness and the sacredness of the all that is beyond our ability to describe it just using human words. It's this transcendent, holy reality of the good, but even saying that, I'm minimizing it. It's almost like when the ancient Hebrews wrote about their sense of the divine, and they wrote this 4 letters, which we pronounce Yahweh, but it wasn't even a word to be pronounced. It was more like, it was like breath. It was like life. It was just like isness. So the sense of in that the Tao became one, it's like the Godhead, the unnameable, the Yahweh, the peace that we can't even talk about shows up as the one. We can talk about one. Now we're talking about the things we try to talk about to communicate with each other and make sense of these things. And in this verse, the Tao became one. The one became 2, the 2 became 3, the 3 became the 10,000 things. And the 10,000 things means what? It means everything. Everything. So we have the one, I, the I-ness, that self-reflective I. What was the song you guys sang, Kate and Marcia? That sense of, we first sang about the sacredness of the I. And then we talked about, look at you. Look at each other, the sacredness of the we. And then the third verse was what? We see the goodness and the sacredness and the beauty of the all, of the 10,000 things, of the all of it. Ken Wilber, I mentioned his name a lot, spiral dynamics, this whole sense where he looked at trying to find a theory of how we can make sense of how we look at life from all these different places in our world where we have different areas of study. And it turns out that many times we focus in on the study of the things that are I, like psychology and the internal ways that we work and we think and we have in our consciousness and the things of the I. And there's also the study of the we, sociology and how do societies work and political things. And there's also the study of the it, the all of it, which means how do our bodies work? How do we work, in physically? How do cells work? How do we all get together? And then there's the study of all of it. How does ecology work? How does this whole world work together? And the fun of it is, how do we go around this circle between I, we, it, all of it, I, we, it, all of it, I, we. And sometimes we're talking about I, and then we're talking about we, and then we're talking about it, and then we're talking about all of it. Because the Tao became one, the one became 2, the 2 became 3, and the 3 became 10,000 things. And so in the end, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the 10,000 things, the all of it, or the 3, or the 2, or the 1, or the we, or the I. It all goes back to the same Tao. It all goes back to the same sacred isness, beingness, the lifeness of it all, that very essence that gets so difficult to talk about. Whether we're talking about that, we're trying to sit in the silence. And what does the Tao say? It goes, the ordinary person goes, I don't want silence. Let's watch Netflix, turn on the music. Let's distract ourselves. But the sage, the wise person, the master, the one who really connects to the truth of who they are, makes sense of that silence, sits into that silence, and gets into that vibrational resonant field of the all of it, and the we of it, and the I of it, and the working of it. So we can all remember this. Here, I'll say it again, and then I'll let you guys join me, okay? So in the beginning, listen, I'm jumping back to chance. Okay, the Tao became one, so we do one. The 1 became 2, the 2 became 3, and the 3 became 10,000 things. Okay, I want to go through this once, and we're going to stand up, and we're all going to try it, okay? All right, it became the 10,000 things, and then the 10,000 things we carry as yin, and we embrace as yang. Mm-hmm. And we achieve harmony in these 2 energies. Harmony is synonymous with love, so maybe do a heart. Synonymous with love, and do a heart. Here, I'll add another piece I didn't tell you last time. This is fun too. We'll do this. For many, it is in the losing that we gain. Sometimes in gaining, we lose. The ordinary person doesn't like silence, but for the wise person, they embrace it. And a truth that we've told throughout the ages, those who live with violence will live a violent life. Okay, you want to try it? We'll stand up, and then we'll get it in our bodies, and then we can remember later, well, which one was what, or how did we do this? But I think we'll get it. It's pretty... Because I can't remember this stuff unless I put it in some kind of movement. Gotta make it kinetic, right? Okay, the Tao became one. The 1 became 2. The 2 became 3. And the 3 became 10,000 things. Yeah, all of it. All of it. The 10,000 things achieve harmony. What is it? 10,000 things harmony. By balancing the 2 energies. So the energies of yin and yang. So I kind of went to a heart, right? You see, the kids do this. I love you, heart. Harmony, 10,000. Many will gain when they lose. Receiving is giving, huh? And many lose when they gain. And this is another good one. I'm forgetting the one. But people live violent lives. Yeah, will live in violence. Oh, and the 4th part of it is, for the ordinary person, they avoid silence. Yeah. But for the wise one, they embrace it. They find the good in it. Okay? Want to try one more time? Okay. The Tao became 1. The 1 became 2. The 2 became 3. The 3 became 10,000 things. The 10,000 themes achieved harmony. They carried the yin and they embraced the yang. And in this way, they achieved harmony of these 2 energies. And many gain by losing, and many lose by gaining. And the violent will live in violence. This is what the masters have said. The ones who work in violence will live in violence. So avoid that. Okay, so hopefully you can remember these energies. Oh, yeah. The ordinary, this part. I wasn't going to use that part, but I got up here and went, that's such a good part. The ordinary person avoids the silence, but the master embraces it. Yeah, the ordinary person loses. And so we get to be a choice. Do we want to be ordinary or do we want to be masters? Are we going to avoid the silence or are we going to embrace it? Okay, you got it? Okay, you can sit, or unless you want to do it a few more times. But we got other things to do, so we got to move on. So this week, the talk title I had was I.D.E.A as a Generator for Life. I.D.E.A as a generator for life. And by I.D.E.A, inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility. This is kind of the symbol of this unity flag. And you've seen this flag. It's kind of the diversity flag and the equity flag. And it oftentimes is seen if you go to LGBTQ event. You know, we had one here last week in Bellingham. I went. It was really fun. And it's a way to go out and celebrate this diversity. But I want to talk about these I.D.E.A of I.D.E.A, inclusivity, diversity, equity, inclusivity, accessibility, from 3 different perspectives, because we can talk about it from the I, the we, and the all of it, right? We just did it. And what does it matter whether you talk about diversity, inner diversity, or social diversity, or embracing the diversity, inclusivity of all things? Because no matter which part of that part you're on, it all goes back to what? It all goes back to the one. It all goes back to source. It all goes back to divine impetus. It all goes back to the very good essence, Tao, Yahweh, Godhead, one source, one power, one inclusive energy that is in all. So let me start with the we of it, because that's one of the things in our society, in our movement in society right now, especially in the Western world, is that we're really saying, wait a second, we have really missed the mark here because we've set up structures that have not allowed for the embrace of the fullness of who we are, whether that's, structures that lean into more men and don't allow for the place for women to achieve the same kind of movement into those groups as we've seen before. It has to do with people of color. It has to do with somehow moving against people of different gender identities or different, or whether they're lesbian or gay. There's all sorts of ways we've really set up ways in our, inhibited the full inclusion of society. And not that it all comes down to business, but I did just do a little search, because I've seen lots of statistics like this. I found this really fascinating piece, and this comes from Harvard Business Review. Companies, and this is business companies, that are more inclusive in their culture and in their policy say that their innovation in their company goes up by 59%. Innovation. Just by being more inclusive, more diverse, bringing more perspectives, more ideas, more ways of looking at this piece, more ways of jumping into, well, if the one is part of the 10,000 things, then the more pieces of the 10,000 things we have, the better we can go back and see the one and see the fullness and see the potentiality and see the possibility. 37% better assessment of looking at consumer demand. So when they look around and they say, well, what is it that people need and want? And this is from company, but you can put it in, what do we need for my group? What do we need for my nonprofit? What do I need for my spiritual center? What is the way we, any kind of group presents itself? When there's a better assessment of looking at the broadest picture of what it is people need and want on whatever it is that you're offering in the sense of spiritual practices and a place of joyous service, go through our mission statement. Look at how it expands when we lean into diversity. And when there's companies with ethnic diversity, their revenue, their income goes up. Ready for this? 35%. I mean, these are just physical statistics from a business review, but I think it gets to the essence of what we're saying about in our society. And one of the most beautiful things that's happening in this postmodern, more the ability to move beyond and break down structures and allow more communication between all sorts of various perspectives is, in the end, too, it financially works. It works on every level. And diverse companies have a 70% higher chance of getting in front of new audiences and expanding their business segments. Diversity writ large. You decide, what does it mean, diversity? What does that look like? And I think there's a lot, and we see these things in our culture. We see these things in the paper. When we read this is very topical if we're willing to look at it in our society right now. So when I saw this, this unity flag for diversity, I was like, yes. Lean into the openness to perspectives. I remember one time I went down, I was just young, and I went in my 20s, and I went scuba diving in Mexico with a bunch of people from Texas. And we're down in Mexico ordering food, in Mexico. And one of the people I was with ordered in Spanish. No big deal, right? I was like, what? You can speak? Would these people speak? He goes, yeah, I just grew up and we learned how. I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, I didn't know anybody that spoke any other language at all. I grew up, now I say, was it because I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa or whatever, or was it just because I was like, la, 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 I'm not looking, I'm not paying attention? I don't know. But I came to this point where I said, wow, you can go to another country and you can speak that language. That is the most coolest thing I ever saw. I had done a 5-year degree in engineering, and at that moment, I realized I didn't know anything. I was like, I knew a lot about one little subject area, but what I realized is it's like the blinders came off. The dial became 1, became 2, became 3. I was about there. Maybe there's 3. 10,000 things, and all of a sudden it's like the openness to the possibilities of communication and friendship and story and art and music and travel and possibilities. I said, I don't know. I need to get educated. So after 5 years of engineering school, I worked as an engineer for 2 years and quit, and I went to South America. And I learned Spanish, and I worked with kids, and I traveled to lots of countries. And I thought, okay, look at this. I can remember the joy. Studying engineering was okay, but I remember driving through a little town in Ecuador with my dictionary, and it'd be a little store, ferreteria. What's a ferreteria? That's the coolest word. What is that? What am I looking at? The world just came alive. Do you know a lot of people? You're nodding, right? You get this sense of when our eyes are open to a whole new, and I don't know, it could happen in the smallest thing. Like, I went to someone's house, they cooked this meal. It was the most delicious meal. I've never saw that before. Opening it up to this whole sense of diversity. But I also want to mention this in another way, because we talk about, the I, the we, and the all of it. Well, that's great. And we can dive into this understanding of how it opens us up when we become more attuned and more sensitive and more willing and more open into the diversity of the we. But what about I? Do we ever talk about inclusivity, diversity, equity, accessibility of my inner space or our inner space? And all of a sudden I realized, in some ways, just like back when I was this 20-year-old and saw someone speaking Spanish, and I was like, wow, what would that be like? What would it be like to really take a look at my own life, or any of us to look at our own lives, and start looking at there are things, worlds, stories, experiences, energies that exist in my interior world that I haven't started to be inclusive with to the fullness of who I am. That's what I've been sitting with all week. Inclusivity in my inner life. And I even thought about, now this is, inner life, and we talk about the body life, and I thought about this. So if you just do a scan, I bet I can get most everyone in here. And we look at, there's an issue with my foot, my ankles, my knees, my thighs. Keep going. Knees, thighs, hips, belly, digestion, heart, shoulders. Have I got everyone yet? Neck, back, lower back, head, neural things, something struggling. How about there's an issue with my eyes, my ears, my teeth? I got to get a dentist. Have I missed anybody? And I thought about, sometimes these things come into our life. And yes, we'll stand in the energy of wholeness, right? I'm not arguing that. And standing fully in the energy of healing. But how many times do things creep up in our life and we just go, not that. Don't want that. Get out. Get away. La la la, don't want that. Not going to include that. Oh, you again. No. Get out. No. And yet the 10,000 things show up to be harmonized in this energy of yin and yang. And we carry the yin and we embrace the yang. Or maybe we carry the yin, I like it when things are going good. And when the yang comes up, not so good, we're like, I'm not going to embrace that. Forget it. So just sitting in this energy is when these different things come up, whether they're physical or emotional or even memories or stuff that's going on or stuff in our heart, how much can we then go, this is something I will choose to carry. This is a piece that I am now going to include and embrace into this balance of my life. Because in the balancing of it, in this inclusion of it, now we achieve this wholeness of it. So in the denial and the pushing away and the ignoring and the fighting it, I'm going to fight that. That's not in my life. I'm going to fight it. And what happens to the violent who fight? Their life gets full of violence. So we don't want to live in this battle. We want to live in this, this coming together of these energies for harmonizing. And in that harmonizing is part of our path to the healing and the wholeness and the transformation. It's in that harmonizing energy. And I've been sitting with this all week. I come up with these talks and then I just sort of ponder them. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that. There's some things I don't want to harmonize. I just want them gone, And yet look, and do you feel it? Do you feel the truth of this? That to fight it and to be in the violence about things of our life and to push them off and to not say that that there's all things are the 10,000 things. So how do we say, well, this thing is of the divine, this thing is good, this thing is part of God, that thing, it came from somewhere else. Where did it come from? There's only the Tao becomes one, becomes two, becomes three, becomes all of it, and it all goes back, and it all comes in, and it all goes back. Now, there's lots of theologies through the years and through the centuries that say, well, there's a good God, and there's this, and then there's a bad God, and this, and the bad God and the devil and all this, they are over here, and the good side is all over here. So that must be on that side, and we don't like it, and, forget it. But we're sitting in a place called unity. We don't go there. There's only one power, one God, one presence, one energy, one source, one essence, one truth, one divine resonance, one Godhead, one Yahweh, one breath, one spirit. There's one. It shows up in the many. It shows up in the all of us. It shows up in the all of me. It shows up in the all of you. All of it. All of it. Sorry. It's all of it. So this stuff that creeps up in our lives, and it's uncomfortable, and it's, yin and yang, male and female, comfortable and uncomfortable. What we perceive as, well, that's good, or what we perceive as, that's bad. It's just energies that need to be harmonized, that need to be, we're going to carry them, then we can embrace them and find a way to put these together so we can come back to harmony. And truthfully, when we deal with them and when we embrace them and we know, then it allows us a path to move on them, to move forward and say, I'm going to, now that I've embraced it, I'm going to deal with it because I want to find that place of harmony. I want to find that place of peace. I want to get out of the place of fighting it and being violent to it and throwing it away. I want to get into that harmony. So we're not going to flee the difficult things. We're not going to flee the hard things. We're going to step into the beauty of the fullness of things and incorporate and include and ask the deep questions about where is this coming from? How is this leading to my healing? How is this leading to my wholeness? How is this yin and yang in balance? How am I sitting in the fullness? Because this one power, this one source, this one energy, it's our first principle, is the very energy of me. Second principle. That is me and it's you. First two principles of unity, right? And my world and my experiences is how I'm choosing to think about it, how I'm choosing to feel about it, what I'm choosing to believe about it. Third principle, right? So this is a question about, can we open our belief system? Can we open our ways where we're including all the essence of our life and sink into that? So I want to say something now about, okay, so that's the I and the we. And there's a third part, right? The all of it. The all of it. And one of the great tragedies right now about, when we look at, we're living in this climate change world, and this world of transition, and a world of we all know all the things that are going on. How do we look at and include all of it and let our hearts break over every loss of any species and the species loss and this great extinction event that's going on right now? How do we allow that to break our heart and move us forward to find new levels of balanced harmony with our planet, with Mother Earth? And with being together. So it's the same inclusivity of species. I was even thinking, because Kelly and I were out taking out English ivy yesterday with the Walk a Million Trees party. We were up on Clipson Trail, and there was, how many, Kelly? There was about 25 people out there, I think? Yeah. And we were out clipping all this English oak, and I was thinking, well, this is funny, because I'm going to do a talk about embracing the all of it. I'm like, yeah, but not English ivy. Not that. But, English ivy has its place. It's just not growing on the trees in Whatcom County. That's not its place. Wrong thing, wrong place at the wrong time. Finding harmony is understanding the systems around us and moving those systems towards wholeness. Let English ivy have its place in England. Different kind of ivies are the right species for here. It's invasive. Let's find its right balance. Let's move to restore the beauty and the truth. So that was, anyhow, thanks for coming out. Walk a Million Trees party. Yeah, we're going to do it again, I think, in All In for Climate Week, which is coming up in September. There'll be another big oak party to clear trees. A lot of fun. So I want to sort of conclude on a real local example. I love this. We are a we of a community. And so part of what the we's doing is this creative, inventive process. And so right in the middle of the talk here, I want to throw out a note of thanks. So many of you have come up to me and said, we love the front entrance. Some new color. There was new roof. Thank you. New gutters. New paint that matches the gutters, that matches all the things. And we had a committee of people, Malin, or the board, thank you, some of our artists, Diane, Janae, who went and spent hours out driving the community, looking at colors, looking at different structures, looking at different roofs, talking to paint consultants, saying, we are this welcoming, opening, joyous, vibrant community, and we want someone to walk in the front and go, wow, you are a welcoming, joyous, vibrant, lovely community. What color is that? You know, this is the idea of being this open and engaging and diverse and bringing people in. And by the way, it's probably going to be some months before we're totally done with the whole thing. It's a process. This whole thing is a process, a good example of moving together and seeing and integrating and being, inclusive of lots of different ideas and colors and themes and looks, and bringing it all together to find a new energy that connects it all. So thank you for the group that's been working. And by the way, and just a little note here, before you go to your car, just walk around the building. All the fascia is now complete. All the side trimming is now complete. No, when it rains this winter, we're safe. No more water coming in the roof. And the roof, thanks Russ and all you guys who worked on the roof and stuff, is now, you patched this whole thing up. That was great. Thank you so much to pointing to Russ here about the water and the bubble in the roof. So grateful how the ones work in the we's, work in the good of all of us, that work in the good of all of us. And we see how it all works. So we're going to end with a little ritual. Everybody brought something from the front table, right? Okay. And the way this works is Marsha's going to play some music. And one by one come up. What we're going to do is we're going to create a piece of we and all of us, because each person who has a piece of me is going to come up to the table, and just take your time. And when she starts playing music, there does to be a certain order. Just come on up, and we're going to make like a creation right here on the table. So everybody takes their piece and lay it in such a way that we're creating sort of a nature mosaic on the table. And then what we're going to do is the Earth Care group last week went out, a bunch of us, and we found some sacred spots in our back 4-acre area. And what maybe some of you, because I didn't know that, there is a ginormous, we called it a papa tree, a mama tree, a cottonwood tree. I mean, it is ginormous. It sits back out here at the creek. I think we're calling it our ancestor tree, our ancestor tree. And if you get a chance, and one day you probably want to wear pants and shoes until we get the trails better cleared. But we can go out there and show anyone who wants to this gorgeous tree. And there's a little space right there, right next to it where you see it. And it's like a grove, a little cutout grove. And we cleared all the weeds away. And it's a place we can get a bench and you can sit. And you can just sit by the creek and you can sit in the energy of this beautiful ancestor tree. And whatever we create here today, and some of us from Earth Care will take it all out and we'll create a little, mimic this mosaic that we create back out here in our sacred area. And it's not just a sacred area out there. It's our outer congregation. It's our sacred space. It's all this living world that's the all of it, that's also part of what we are, both our human and our more than human and our greater natural community that's all around here. So we're going to take this and we're going to invite our ancestor tree and the energy of that beautiful tree, which I know a lot of you haven't seen. I just saw it last week, or maybe I just noticed it. And we'll invite that energy of our back area into our congregation as well. So we can really celebrate the fullness of the integration of the I, the we, the all of us, and the all of it. Okay? So when you're ready, just come up and we'll create this mosaic on the table. Marsha? So I'll say a blessing on this piece of art, this representation of the community, and acknowledging that each offering is reflecting the inclusion of more pieces of our own journey into our consciousness. And with each offering, we include more dedication to expanding our inclusivity and in our welcoming nature as a community. And with each offering, and as these offerings come together, we affirmed the goodness of this entire place we call unity, which is a place of individuals. It is a place of community. It is a place of nature. It is a place that we get to be part of the continuing adventure and honoring the sacredness of the diversity of all of it, of all the lovely and beautiful and colorful life in not only the fauna, but in the owls and in the deer and in the other rabbits and all the other creatures that are walking out this window behind us. We bless them all. We know that these offerings come together and say yes. Yes to loving the beauty of the connectivity, the beauty of the interface of this interlapping, beautiful energies that come together to be the nature of us, to be the nature of me, of us, and of us all. So we bless these offerings. And we allow this piece of art to be just one small step forward in our own personal transformation into our personal energy of inclusivity. And so it is. So it is. Thanks, everyone.
Inclusivity, connectivity, the oneness and all. It is time for our time of offering. And as ushers come forward, we know that abundance is our divine inheritance. Giving our gift of love and appreciation. We always appreciate your generosity in support of the ministry here that we're creating together, the inclusivity of unity. This includes each of you with us in person and those online. And you can also text to give, and the number I think is in your program. So as you take your offering to your heart, affirm quietly to yourself, I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. And together, we say our blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
I come from the Blackfeet tribe out of Browning, Montana. And there's a phrase in the language that we use. It's ik sukape. Ik sukape. It means everything's good. Everything's all right. And I wrote this song, and the name of the song is called Ik Sukape. And it is inspired by a poem that was written by Betty Scott over here, who is with us today. And so I want to give her well credit on this, that I have a refrain in here that she wrote, so please enjoy. Once again, Ik Sukape. First came her smile, then my laughter. Together, a happy ever after, yeah. With the rain come the rainbows, assuring me that's where all the good in love grow. Loving my life, my babe. Every night, every day, I find everything revolves around you. Humming and strumming my way back home when I'm feeling them so lost and alone. Everything calms down when you say, look at the tree-lined mountain, see souls of the dead and living beneath one sky, a blue fitted sheet with puffs of pillow cloud. Yeah. Ooh, yes, Hey, 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 hey. He's so happy. Hey, 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 hey. He's so happy. She brings me gold. She brings me diamonds, a ruby red to show how deep the love runs. She brings me peace, she brings me silence, a calm to all the hate and violence. Living and loving my life inside. Every day, every night, I see everything revolves around you. Humming, strumming my way back home, feeling so lost, feeling alone. I find everything calms down when you say, look at the tree-lined mountain, see souls of the dead and living beneath one sky, a blue fitted sheet with puffs of pillow cloud. Hey. Gohpey. First came her smile, then my laughter. Together, happy ever after.
Wow. Oh my, so we bless these gifts with so much gratitude in our hearts. And we bless them to go forward to support us in the ministry and the mission of unity of Bellingham, for unity worldwide, and for peace on our planet. And so it is. Amen. So a few announcements. Don't forget to come take a picture before you leave. Quite spectacular. So kind of in some time. So next Saturday, not here, but at the Center for Spiritual Living, there's a Spirit, Mind, Body Fair on Saturday. I'm not sure I think it's 10 to 4, if someone remind me. Anyhow, if that's interesting to you and see local healers and see what's going on, we want to, if you want to go support that project and support yourself, it's at CSL next Saturday, 22nd. Then we don't have the sign-up sheet yet, but we'll have it next week. But just for your calendars, through August and then the first part of September, on Wednesday nights, we're going to do a Gospel of Luke class. And so if you've ever wanted to just sit down and kind of go through one of the Gospels A to Z and kind of have some fun with it, what we're going to do is every week we're going to use a different technique for looking at a way to look at Scripture. Like we've got something called Lectio Divina. You might have heard that before, Visio Divina. We're going to use one where we're just going to look at art from different parts of Scripture. And we're just going to look at what does the art that through the ages have told us. So that's like they call it Visio Divina. There's ways we can go back and put ourselves in the story and feel what was there. There's other ways you do Scripture study where you take it, you bring it into the present and go, now what's here? And a lot of different things in between. And so we've looked at, there's one called Havarte. And there's also metaphysics. There's also maieutic. What are all those things? Well, we're going to play with them all. Because some things for one person work better, and some ways of reading Scripture for others work better too. I personally use a lot of them all the time in different times for different Scriptures. So it's going to be more experiential and fun. So whatever verse you have, whatever Bible you have that you like, you can bring that. If you bring King James, well, I'll probably go, I don't know about that one. But whatever. If you like that old language, that's fine. The one we used at Unity Ministry School, the one I use is New Revised Standard Version. So if you want to use that one, but shoot, there's people that come to class and just pull it up on their iPhone too. You can do that if you want. So just find a Bible, and it's going to be a little bit, it kind of makes sense if you come to all 7, but even if you come for just a few, that will be fine too. And we're just going to move through the whole Gospel of Luke and look at it in a very sort of contemporary breakdown kind of way. And it just maybe we'll do some plays and little skits, and then maybe you'll end up doing it up here on a Sunday. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that'll be fun. Now, August 6th, first Sunday of August, we did say that maybe because, summer, do we want to do a potluck all through the summer? But we do want to do one on first Sunday in August. Why? There's birthdays, and people want to celebrate. And I don't want to miss out on my birthday. So let's do a potluck on August 6th. That's a couple weeks, but just for your planning ahead. And there might even be some kind of cool special birthday coming up, like good numbers. So you know what I mean? Like fun birthdays. We all have those very fun milestones. So August 6th will be a good one, especially for some maybe some buddies. And then, let me see. So we have now officially named our Harvest Moon Concert and Silent Auction. Okay, so now, we did say maybe late September, but we've resettled. It's October 14th. We moved it back a few weeks. We moved it back to get more in October, which is more in line with what we've done in past years. And I've already been calling people and saying, could you offer this or that or something else, and starting to get people who want to make offerings. We do have, and what we'll start doing is we have a lot of art, and we'll start pulling the art out of our locked area and showing you some of the cool stuff we've been stashing up for the big auction, and start bringing that out in the weeks to come to get excited. You could come stop by my office and look on the walls, because a lot of that's for sale. And you can see some of the stuff that's out there. We'll also be looking for things like baskets, and some of these people put a basket of stuff together with a theme. Those are really fun things to auction. If you have a healer wouldn't it be cool if you talked to your massage therapist and they said, sure, I'll offer an hour massage, and you can auction that, and then let me know, I'll bid on it first. And then different kind of foods. I had a great idea. Someone could put together a Seahawks basket, right? 2 tickets and a jersey. That could be the grand raffle prize right there, I think. Anyhow, whatever it is that you want to come up with, and I'll be talking to you or talk to me. We're really trying to get everything in by the end of August, so we understand what we're doing in September, and we're ready to go in October for the Harvest Moon concert, silent auction, and we'll have lots of fun with that. Today, the Helga is our chaplain. We'll be back in the room, and we have LM and Howard in the booth today. I think Jay Scott's back there too, but two people who don't usually run the show. Thanks, you guys. It's kind of a new. Jane and Jim are off. Appreciate it. JP, as always, I feel like I understand your music. The longer I'm here, it's both eternal. It's international, but it's regional, both at the same time. I love feeling, and I keep hearing you on the radio, by the way, 94.1. I'm constantly hearing your music on the radio. It's really cool. And Kate and Marcia, as always, God, so appreciate you guys and what you've been doing. Thank you. And also, Women of Unity, I don't really know, before you go, walk through the kitchen and look at our brand new dishwasher that is now installed and the brand new Energy Star Good refrigerator that works really well in the back, and it's so much easier to use. Women of Unity, thank you for donating for us. It's really fabulous. And of course, lessons on how to work the dishwasher will be coming up very soon. But really, it's just you hit the button, you push stuff in, and you shut the door. I mean, there, now you've got your lesson, but a little bit more to that. A lot easier than the previous. Okay, and thank you to anyone who I didn't mention for all you've done for the board and for everyone else. It's just some days you just get so full of gratitude for all the people and all the pieces that come together to make this community hum. And so I appreciate all of you. Yeah.
Please stand and join us singing Peace is Every Step.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As we complete our service today, let's join together and say our prayer of protection, and we do include everyone, everywhere. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being with us today. We wish you a blessed week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And
Peace song.
Peace song. Okay, so let's make a circle, and we'll sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God.